it's Sahara. Welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. So today is my second Halloween tutorial of 2019. I'm going to be telling you guys what I'm using in this tutorial. I'm going to be using the Elmer's washable glue. I'm going to be using this wig from Michael's craft store, and yes, scratch me. And then I'm going to be using these nails from the Dollar Tree. These are the square nails from Sassy and Chic, something like that. So what I did was I just clipped them to make them more pointy, like, because of course they had to look like claws, and then I glued them on. Then I'm going to be using this nail polish to paint over them. For the ears, what I did was I drew them on a piece of paper, cut them out, and then stapled them onto this wire. I'm going to be using some rigid collodion. This was one of the items I was waiting for, the Ben Nye latex for sensitive skin. But I don't think I'm going to use this in this tutorial. And then I'm going to use the Mayron Paradise Paint Palette, the Ben Nye Clown White. The Clown White was another thing I was waiting on. And this Mayron Fantasy FX Paint. That's another thing I was waiting on. So I'm also going to be using the Smashbox Concealer because it has more of like an orange undertone. But I'm going to go ahead and block out the brows off camera and then come back on when I have them blocked. About roughly two more things I forgot to mention I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using this La Femme blush. It's the orange one, and a reference picture of Scar. I'm using it on the iPad because it's big enough where I can see it, and my laptop is currently being used, so I couldn't use that. I also put the wig cap on off camera as well, so now I'm just going to put the wig on, and it's a long black kind of wavy wig with bangs, but I'm going to have to put the bangs back because he has a little flip going on in the front with his bangs, but they're not showing, and this wig looks crazy. And can we just take a moment to say how amazing this wig looks for $5 too, because it was on sale for $5, but it almost got caught on my nails, so it was like, take it back. I'm just putting the bangs back in a little ponytail holder, nothing serious, because I didn't think that bobby pins would hold his hair down anyway. Now I'm going in with the Smashbox Concealer in the shade Medium Deep and just applying that on the top half of my face, like probably down by the tip of my nose, but not all the way down because I'm going to be painting the rest of that a different color. And then I'm going to blend this out with a sponge, a dry sponge, because I don't want to soak up any product. I'm going to be going into this Physicians Formula foundation. It's a darker shade as well, and I'm just going to be applying that on the brows for a little bit more coverage around there because they are still showing and they're dark. I don't know. Nothing ever works out perfect for me to try to get my brows blocked, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to be using this La Femme blush, and I found that it wasn't orange enough. Like, it looks a little red. Like, it has like a red tone to it. Like, this right here looks exactly like when I fell one time when I was riding my bike as a little kid, and it looked just like that when my knee split open, so Anyway, I was going to use a brush to try to apply it as well to see if, it would just apply less, but it still was looking too red. So what I ended up doing is I went in with the Ben Nye banana powder to set that part of my face first because I didn't want to put the eyeshadow directly on. So I rather had went in with the powder just to set so it's not directly setting onto my skin. And then I went in with the Juvia's Place, the Nubian 2 palette, and used that orange shade called Morocco and apply the eyeshadow that way because that was a lot more red. I mean, a lot more orange looking, not red. The other blush was red. This is orange, even though it's supposed to be orange. I'm going to go in with the Profusion eyeliner pencil in this Rimmel London Scandalized eyeliner, liquid pencil eyeliner, something like that. And I'm going to use the pencil first to trace out where I want the brows to go, and then I'm going to use the liquid liner to help me, well, it's not like a liquid liner, it's like a felt tip pen liner to help fill that in and make it more darker as well, and thinner towards the front and thicker towards the arch of the brow. That's what I did when I did that clown look last year. Now I'm going in with the Profusion Sienna's palette, and I'm going to use those two brown shades. One The first one I'm pointing to is a cool tone brown, and the second one is a warm tone brown. That's why I'm mixing those two together to give me that eyeshadow look that he had going on the lid, all the way up to the brow bone, all the way under the eye as well. I decided to use eyeshadow instead of paint because these two colors gave me a better color match than just using paint would, because I would have just been using one brown. I'm also using the end of this packaging to help me create that shape that he has going on the eyes. You just like, for these parts, these certain parts, they're harder to explain, so you just have to like really just look at the reference picture to see what I'm talking about. But he has like a certain shape to the eyeshadow look going on, painted look. I'm going in with this light tan color from the Profusion palette just to go over this eyeshadow, just to lighten it a little bit, because for some reason on this certain picture it didn't look as dark as I had it, so I wanted to just, lighten it up. I'm going back in with that Profusion eyeliner pencil and just applying it on the waterline. For this part, I'm taking it down in the inner corner to create like that cat eye type of look. It'll look like more like feline-ish. And then I'm going in with the Rimmel London felt tip eyeliner this time and following the shape of my eye from the crease all the way into the inner corner, connecting it also on the outer part as well. It's like I just totally skipped over this part, but for this, I'm just creating this liner on the lash line, but it's not going to be like a wing liner. It's going to be that liner that connects the crease liner to the lid liner. If that made any sense, it's like it's just a bunch of lines. Then off camera, I did use this sponge to apply more of that eyeshadow to make it more darker. It picked up a lot more than a brush did. So now I'm going in with the Kat Von D Lock-It eyeshadow primer in the shade Medium. And I thought this would be a really good color for, what is that called, the muzzle part? I don't know. So I was using this to trace it out. And then I was also gonna fill it in with this pencil, but I forgot that one thing about this eyeshadow primer is that it dries so quick. Like, it goes on creamy, but then it dries so bad. Like, I mean, it's so drying. I see why it was on sale when I first got it and why I haven't used it anymore. Like, it's so drying, it's bad. So instead, I went in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, multi-use concealer in the shade Natural Beige, and this worked out as well. It was the perfect color, so it was like everything just worked out perfect, even though the Kat Von D did. I'm going in with the Mayron Fantasy FX Cream Black Makeup, and I'm applying this on the back of my hand, and this is my first time using this, and it's so good. So much better than the water activated paint, because this does not dry out. It's just like perfect. So now I'm gonna go in and just draw in those little parts on the mouth and the nose and all of that stuff. Like, I don't feel like explaining it. It's like it's too much to explain. Just watch. Well, I guess I could just mention that this part right here kind of like extends the nose in a way, so that's why I'm drawing those lines that come out, and I did the rest off camera. Now I'm just going in with some more of that Too Faced concealer and applying that like right on my nose, like on the tip of the opening part where the two holes are. Then I'm going back in with some more of that black paint just to create a line that goes on the inner part of my mouth. It's not like the black paint's going everywhere, because you just want the mouth to look like it's small. And then it's like creating a little triangular shape that connects back to that line that was dragged down the cupid's bow. I'm also dragging these lines in the corner of my mouth to make it look like he has like a sad um, smile going on. Well, it's not a smile, it's a smize. Smize, like a smize. And then I'm going back in and filling in the lower lip as well, and only in the inner part. Then I'm going back in with some more of that Mayron paint just to paint it the rest on the lower half of the face, the neck, and onto the chest, because I want those areas black. He had hair in those areas, but I'm like, I don't have time to try to put hair right there. Oh, that would be so itchy. So I was like, let me just do the black paint. And also, if you were wearing this look out, I would recommend setting it with like a black eyeshadow or a black powder or something, not only to make it more pigmented so it doesn't look so patchy, but also so it doesn't smudge throughout the night. I knew that I was going to be removing this as soon as I finished this video and took some pictures, so I was like, I'm not setting it all the way down my neck. It would just take forever to try to get this off. So I'm also going in with some of that black paint to create this little widow's peak. Now I'm going back in with those two eyeshadows that I used on the lid, and I'm shading that in above the nose. He had like a little moment going on the nose, like it wasn't too dark, so that's why I'm just shading in a little bit. I'm also going in with this warm orange just to blend over that so it blends into the other orange shade as well, and it doesn't look so harsh. The whiskers, I'm using spirit gum, and I had to go off camera because I was like, let me try to figure this out. So I applied the spirit gum on the muzzle part, and then I'm going in with these pieces from that burlap. I just pulled the strings out, and then I cut them into like some little whisker shape, and I'm applying it like that. I wanted them to look realistic instead of like drawing them on, so that's why I'm using this. His whiskers did look like a darker brown, but I was like, I'm keeping it like this. I don't feel like doing anything extra. I'm going to be using a mixture of Ben Nye's Clown White and also Mayron's Paradise paint palette, the basic one. I'm mixing together the white and the red to create like this pinky tone for the scar. So now I'm going in with the Mayron Rigid Collodion and applying this over this. Now this Rigid Collodion does give a scarring effect. Because I had so much paint going on, you couldn't really see the scarring effect because what it does is it pinches the skin together. Kind of hurts, by the way, just a little bit, but not too much because you can peel it away after it's dried. But what you want to do is just apply it one layer, let it dry, and then apply it again, and it does burn the eyes. It's like it reminds me of using latex. The ammonia just gets to the eyes because this smells like acetone. For this part, this was also the pieces that I used for the scarecrow look that I did. I was like, I want the hair to look realistic. I used spirit gum to help me stick this down. The spirit gum really wasn't sticking it down because I guess it's too thick, but I wanted the hair to look realistic. This is why I was going to use like the latex to apply the tissue on the chin part and make the chin look longer, and then I was going to do something like to make realistic hair. I didn't want to have to paint the hair on the chin and the cheek part, so I was like, let me go in with this, and then painted that same color that I did with the muzzle. And I was like, you know something, I'm gonna keep it like this. I was like, I don't know if I like it. I kind of like it, and then I kind of don't because it looks like straw or something like that. It doesn't even look like hair, but I was like, you know something, I'm gonna keep it. It is what it is, you know. You don't have to do it. You can go without it. You can paint it on, do what you got to do. But I was like, I'm going to keep it. Now I'm just going to apply the ears. Again, I just drew these ears. I drew them the same color that he has his with the orange and then the dark brown. And then I cut it out, the paper, stapled it onto this wire that I bent to give me like a headband shape. And I think that will complete this look once I switch back to my good quality camera because my camera did die sometime in between here. And also, if you're going to wear this out, I would recommend painting the arms orange as well. I didn't want to have to paint anything else because I was like, if I painted one more thing, it was going to stress me out and be the death of me because it's so hard getting this stuff off. Like, it takes so much out of you. So I was like, you know, let me let these people know what they could do off camera, but I was like, I'm not doing it. Alright, so I did forget one more thing, and I did switch back to the camera. I actually kind of like the other camera looking better because it made the orange backdrop look more orange. But anyway, I am going in with a Ben Nye Stage Blood, and I'm just painting over the scar a little bit. I did want it to look more like a realistic scar, like it just happened. So that's why I am putting a little bit of blood, not too much, nothing running down because I don't want to mess up the look. So now you can go ahead and apply your contacts or edit them in like I did, which is very time consuming and frustrating in your scar. This is my style. I had that.